We think it's important because, as I always tell you, there is an information war going on in the United Corporations of America, and you, the viewers, and us, the journalists, are losing. We are currently losing, not because we're not putting up a good fight, but because the oppressors are tightening, I don't even know what you would call it. They're tightening the noose at this point. Mm-hmm. YouTube, and this might not be so smart of us to point this out, but there is what I think can only be called a YouTube Armageddon facing this channel and many other independent, progressive news channels. YouTube has not been subtle the last year or two, and now especially the last few months. I got an email from a viewer. If you're watching, I won't mention your name. Basically giving me all this advice on how to snap us out of our little, we've been stagnant. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. We've been stagnant as far as subscriber growth the last few weeks. And I wrote back as respectfully as I could. If I thought it was a content issue, then that's easy to tweak. I mean, we're not going to change who we are, but we could make videos shorter, maybe, make better thumbnails, catchier headlines, whatever. But unfortunately, what we're finding is it's not a content issue, it's a distribution issue. Our content's simply not being distributed to not always our subscribers, but most importantly, the wider YouTube ecosystem. So you could change your content till you're blue in the face, but if people aren't seeing it, that's a problem. So that is why we've started to go live on Twitch. That is why we are trying to grow our Instagram and many other things. So now YouTube, it seems, and they've kept this very vague, are setting up a system where pretty much any channel could get eliminated for monetary reasons.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw this news.
So let's read this, but first, make sure you press the like button. We got 400 people watching, 250 likes. So let's get another 150 likes. YouTube is now saying YouTube's new terms of service has some users and content creators very worried that the company could delete their account. In the section titled Account Suspensions and Termination, with the subheader Terminations by YouTube for Service and Changes, the site's new terms, which are set to take effect on December 10th, so a month from now, YouTube may terminate your access or your Google account's access to all or part of the service if YouTube believes in its sole discretion that provisions of the service to you is no longer commercially viable. In the most basic terms, if YouTube isn't making money off of you, the company can delete your account. The platform's current terms of service do not include this language. Last week, YouTube started sending an email to its users notifying them about the site's new terms of service. In its email, YouTube summarizes the update as a way to make its terms clearer and easier to understand. Yet this new addition to its terms weren't mentioned in the email, and the wording couldn't be any more vague. As written, these broad terms give YouTube the power to delete a creator's account if they upload or live stream video that, for example, doesn't pull in enough advertising revenue. YouTube viewers aren't in the clear either. Notice the terms are worded to cover anyone who has an account, not just the content creators. The language used could mean that a user who looks at lots of content but doesn't necessarily monetize could also have their accounts removed. And actually, somebody did a video on this earlier. One channel's viewers were getting their Gmail accounts removed.
That's really scary too, yeah.
So it's not just your YouTube account, it is your YouTube is owned by Google. Mm-hmm. So you could have your Gmail account erased too. I'm not going to get into the rest of this because honestly, I think it's written in an intentionally vague way. Mm-hmm. But why this, I'm not going to lie to you, this scares the living shit out of us as journalists, but more important for the future of our business. But just think about it for a second. If they are going to decide to get rid of channels that aren't making them money, well, at the same time, they are deciding which channels can make them money and which channels can't by demonetizing nearly all of our videos.
Right.
So if they're demonetizing 75% of a channel's videos because it's not suitable for advertisers, i.e. corporate censorship, then after they play God with your channel by demonetizing it because you're being too controversial or not corporate friendly enough, then they're going to say, well, look, you're not making any money because all this is... So it's basically, it's a racket.
Yeah.
It's basically a screw job, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. They are trying, this is the final stage to try and eliminate channels like this. And it's scary because honestly, we've grown as much as we can with the suppression. I mean, we're about to hit 65,000 subscribers. I've been saying for a long time, there's definitely a switch, and there's definitely a list of channels that are being screwed, that are being throttled, and we're on it. So the most important thing, the reason we're doing this segment now, is it is possible. Obviously, we hope it's not the case, but we are preparing for a scenario where our channel could be deleted. Am I over dramatizing that?
No, you're not. And so obviously we've been talking for a long time about YouTube suppression, and it is getting worse and worse. And as Jordan just said, a lot of our videos are now being demonetized, and that's something we've heard from many other independent journalists as well. Just videos are constantly demonetized for no reason at all. And now with this new terms of service, it's like they're not even pretending anymore. They're coming right out and admitting that they're not just suppressing, but now are going to outright delete. So it is terrifying, and I think that's part of the reason we ask you guys to sign up for the email list, and that's part of the reason
Which, by the way, to sign up for the email list, you just go to statuscoup.com.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a little section to enter your email. Enter your email. Go on.
Yeah, so that's why we, from the very beginning, we were like, we never want to only rely on YouTube for viewership or for money or for anything. We don't want to rely or build our business around any third-party site, because they can pull the rug out from under you at any moment. And so now we're seeing that, yeah, that's right. They certainly can, and they certainly will.
So, I mean, it goes without saying, I believe, I think you do too, YouTube should be publicly regulated, Google should be publicly regulated,
Absolutely.
Facebook, all these should be publicly regulated. Yes, they are private corporations, but the power that they have to control information, you can't be both. You can't be monopolies and be censoring. If you're a private monopoly, you can't then be allowed to censor alternative information. Because you want to know something? What this does? You know, for example, in 2002 and 2003, there was very few decently known outlets that were against the Iraq War, and Amy Goodman was one of them, right? I don't know at that time if Democracy Now! Was big on YouTube, but at the very least, Democracy Now! Was known, and Amy Goodman was known. And since 2002, 2003, there's been an explosion of alternative voices. But what YouTube is doing, and I'm sure Facebook and others might be soon to follow, is basically making it so the next war launched by the oligarchy, or the next Standing Rock, or the next Occupy Wall Street, and basically trying to, spray and beat up people protesting. They are basically trying to black it out. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. They're trying to black it out. So the reason we're doing this topic is very simple. We finished our GoFundMe, as we thanked you early. Thank you.
But if you're so inclined, you could still donate to it.
Yeah. But if there comes a time, which we wouldn't be doing this topic, if we didn't think this is a possible, if not likely scenario, we definitely, bottom line, if we're kicked off YouTube, we would probably not have a business in very quick time, because it's very, very hard to alert 65,000 people or subscribers, because not all subscribers are active. Some people subscribe and then never come back to your channel. It would be very difficult to move over 65,000 people lickety split to another platform. This is not a ploy. We're not doing this segment as a ploy to juice up our numbers. We're doing this segment because if tomorrow YouTube decided status quo is no longer commercially viable, we would go out of business. That's just straight up. The reason is we don't have enough membership, although it's bringing in a good amount. It's not enough at this point where losing our core distribution model wouldn't, I think, cripple us is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're smart and scrappy enough that and we would fight no matter what to we would keep reporting. We would do whatever we could. But yeah, it would be a huge kick in the pants, like just devastating. It's really scary to think about.
So the reason membership is so important, if we keep growing this membership, yeah, if we're kicked off YouTube, it would be a real punch. But at the very least, we have the money coming in to then spend money on advertising, to then spend money to alert the world. Oh, we're off YouTube now. Check us out on Twitch, or check us out here or there. We're looking at different options of where we could go. Or come to statuscoup.com, which frankly we need to redo the whole thing anyway.
Yes.
And start broadcasting there. That's why membership is so important.
But you get really, really cool stuff behind the scenes, videos, video diaries. We do monthly member calls with you, like with Zoom. Jordan's on video. You guys can be on video. You can ask us anything. It's really, really a good time. We plan on adding even more stuff to the membership for you guys. So we want to reward you too and make you feel part of Status Coup, because we are doing this for you, for the people. So it's cool. It's a community.
Yes.
And that's part of what I think sets us apart.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.